Very welcome to the Gulf Food Startup Programme. I'm joined by Gustavo Junqueira, who's the Agricultural Secretary of the state of Sao Paulo, bringing us a Brazilian perspective to this multinational gathering. Gustavo, tell us, Brazil is one of the largest food exporters in the world. How do you see trade collaboration with the Middle East, especially with the UAE, evolving over the next few years?
We see that with a huge expectation. First of all, it's great to be here. It's a very important event that takes place in the Middle East, and it's definitely a hub to understand what's going on in terms of tastes, demands, and the future food in general. Brazil is a major powerhouse in terms of use of its natural resources for food production. Nevertheless, it's a SME, or it's a very small country in terms of international trade. Brazil represents less than 1% of the total trade of the world, and we believe that a partnership with the UAE could, for sure, jump Brazil to a much important role and will help the UAE in terms of addressing its food security policies.
Now, you said that Brazil could be considered a startup in terms of food production, but the startup scene is actually huge in Latin America and indeed in Brazil. Are there specific initiatives that the government is planning to implement to foster and nurture agropreneurs?
Sure. Brazil, in its agriculture, different from most parts of the world, the agribusiness in Brazil is the most private sector in Brazil. So the government role is a very small role if compared to other countries. We have no subsidies, no farming financing. We have no companies owned by the state in terms of food production in general. But we do have been promoting in our public universities, as well as in this Department of Agriculture as a whole, so that new students and youngsters come to the agribusiness and look through their eyes problems that have been there for centuries or for decades, and what we see as a problem being within that market, they see as a solution or an opportunity to make business.
How do you ensure the prominence of the agricultural industry in the Brazilian economy, and which technologies do you feel are enabling the growth of the sector?
The future will be biological. For sure, biology will play a major role in agriculture, in food.
Exciting times ahead for the Brazilian food industry and for continued cooperation with the UAE. Gustavo Junqueira, thank you very much for speaking to us.